We cannot use them right now that confidently because we know that sometimes it's hallucinate a lot.
I would call it challenges associated with large language models.
Large language model field fine-tuning is super expensive. If the model pre-training could cost like millions, fine-tuning could cost like tens of thousands.
And you mentioned what it's cheaper. So basically you said if
it's very
the
cheap.
fine-tuning costs 60K in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
this
and
costs
something-
like, I don't know, 100, probably even
Oh,
less than 100. So this is like basic technique that you can prevent hallucinations right now.
reasoning, what it is.
Reasoning is probably, the biggest challenge of all AI.
By the way, you don't have resources to communicate or test all the ways.
Yeah.
But now you need to reason why you choose the first one and put it as the option in the first place instead of the second option.
Large language models cannot do that. That's kind of like agent is not really working that well.
Usually it's based on the experience what we
Yeah.
have. But how we understand our experience, usually it's understood by pain we had in the past. So how computers can feel that pain? A lot of, let's call it bullshit, something in the gray zone data, and the truth. And what is the truth? Welcome to AI Masters Voice, the podcast where we connect AI-minded professionals from around the world to dive into the future of AI. I'm your host, Martin Jakub, founder of AI Masters Agency. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it now. And also click the bell button so you will get all notifications about the new episodes of AI Masters Voice. And in today's topic, together with you, I want to overview the 10 problems, I would call it challenges, associated with large language models. And my guest today is David Matachunas. He has so many diverse roles in the AI industry, very active and smart guy, and he's a founder and CEO of Pharmacy AI startup.
Yeah, it's called IQ22.
IQ22, technical data analyst, machine learning engineer, chairman of the board of AI Association of Lithuania, founder of LTAI Research Group, and I believe many other things. So, hey David, nice to have you here.
Hello everyone, thank you for inviting me.
By the way, from what part of the world you are joining today? Because yesterday you said you are on the plane and I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Wait.
I was in Lithuania. Right now I'm in Zurich at my home. Yeah, I'm traveling a lot between these two countries often.
Can you introduce to our audience who you are? What are you doing daily in human language, if it's possible?
Yeah, it's like kind of hard. I'm like very curious person, so I like to do like a lot of things. So I think my main role, I'm like still working at my like kind of job in Switzerland where we're doing machine learning and AI projects for like telecommunication industry. I'm like team lead and machine learning engineer. I'm also starting my own startup associated with like large multilingual models, then AI Association chairman of the board and research group founder. So it's a lot of different positions that kind of have good synergy between each other. To like, if I need something from one industry, I can, my role, like influence other roles and like something like that. So this is kind of, I don't know how I find time for everything, but I think like also very important what team you have. So a lot of people working like in these different organizations that help me a lot. Yeah, I think these four roles is my main ones. I hope in the next half a year I'm more focusing on my startup, and we'll see how it goes.
You know, before starting our discussion, I would like to clarify for people who are listening to us all these terms. I'm trying to invite people who understand AI, but the main problem, at least what I see, AI people talks really high level language, what is understandable between the data science and, oh, this is something, it's somehow mystery. But can you explain in simple words, for example, what is machine learning engineer?
Yeah, so probably I will start from what is data analyst, because like all these positions is kind of like, your evolution of like career. So when you finish like the college or university, you most of the time going work. If you want to work with data, you all my, like if you have bachelor degree or something like that, you go to like data analyst position. So data analyst mostly working with extracting some like knowledge from like huge data sets and give like and show visualize them for like the company managers. And this is kind of like very easy job, but you need to be like need technical knowledge and business understanding.
Okay, so it's not only just getting bunch of data, extracting data, and not doing anything except just moving data from one system to another, but also analysis of it.
Yeah, you need to be, I think it's like more important to like very clearly explain what this data is like saying and what could be like the decisions. So this is I think the most important role that a lot of companies right now needed, because they see that like, oh, we have a lot of data, but we cannot like have any value from that. So right now they're looking a lot of data analysts.
So basically, data analyst can help.
Yeah, with that, yeah. Then the next position is like data scientist. So data scientists and machine learning engineers, like very similar roles. So data scientists not only looking at the data you have, but also like predicting what could be in the future.
I like what data will come to your company.
Yeah, an example, if you want to know like how many clients we could have, like what like the tendencies, what we need to be focused more, which clients group or stuff like that. It give you like using like machine learning and like very simple algorithms of machine learning, you can give like a lot of value for your company if you're doing like forecasting or something like that. So this is like quite important for every company.
It sounded for me like a data scientist. They predicting the incoming data. It's like weather prediction, or it's more,
Yeah, but like weather prediction is like predicted by like data scientists and researchers. So it's like basically the same. It's the different data.
what they are
Yeah.
saying with the weather prediction. So is it the same with the data for the companies, or it's more accurate?
Yeah, so weather prediction is super hard. Like this need a lot of data, of course, but you have like a lot of different factors, like the features that could impact what like specific weather is. So yeah.
Like thousand variables, yeah.
Yeah, so DeepMind's like last month present like the model that they're using like LLMs to like predict weather better. So it's working like pretty good, and this could help a lot for people in like specific in the countries where it's like climate is changing very quickly, and it could be like very bad for them, and then because they can evacuate if something is happening. So yeah, and machine learning engineer mostly like creating all the infrastructure. So data scientist is giving you the model that is predicting something, but need to for like ML engineers. Some companies don't have ML engineers, and data scientists doing everything. But ML engineer mostly like building all the infrastructure that this model will work. If I have like good recommendation system, an example as Netflix have for movies, I cannot like just do one small model in some like notebook that could like work, but it's not give company any value basically, because you need to support like millions of clients every day. So you need like ML engineer to build all the infrastructure that your model can support like a lot of people, and they can use like recommendation system.
When you talk about that environment, what ML engineer need to build, are you talking about servers? Are you talking about the software? What it is?
Mostly it's like the pipeline. So like how you getting data, how data is like cleaned, then go to like machine learning model, then go to like some kind of results for client. And it's like almost like the loop that always like repeating, So you need to build this kind of infrastructure. But it's also like depends on computational power and all other things if you're using LLMs or something like that. So that's kind of important. So you need to build everything that will work.
Okay, in marketing we call it funnels, and
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
through some specific process and you generate something, and then you return to the starting point and repeating
exactly.
it
It's
again.
like very the same, basically. Just like you're building funnel or like these pipelines that you give something for client and nobody will crash.
Okay, now it's more clear. And we're talking about these LLMs, large language models. Can you explain what it is? People try to understand. I believe most people in general public, they think AI is, I don't know, ChatGPT or Midjourney or some models. What it is? Can you explain to us?
Large language models is like system, I would say, that could predict what could be like the next word or like this some specific thing in the sequence. An example, so they train using this like transformer architecture that was created in Google that is like quite simple but also very powerful. Basically how it works, if you start your sentence like my name and what could be like the next word, probably 99% is that next word is, and then you like predicting everything, but you like remember what you predict like previously. So this is how they like simplify work. They're just predicting what could be the next word by like the context of what is already written.
Basically, when we're using these chat models, and we're seeing like it's writing down,
Yeah.
so it's basically predicting in the real time what to
Yeah.
write
Yeah.
word
Yeah.
by word. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why it's called like inference. That's why like large language model cost a lot, because you like predicting everything in real time, and the inference cost is all the time. It's like quite huge. If like it depends on the model, but yeah.
So basically, if ChatGPT has, I don't know how many active users at the same time, let's say 10
Yeah.
millions
Yeah.
at the same time, so 10 millions predictions happening
Yeah.
all the time, and you need that computing power to
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why they are collaborating with Microsoft, because if they will be kind of alone as a startup, I don't think they could do that, because
The
it's like,
infrastructure and
yeah,
everything.
it's basically
Okay.
impossible. Yeah.
What is the difference between LLMs and Gen AI models? And
Oh yeah. So after like Transformers, like this architecture like was released, there was like kind of discussion that Transformer also could be helpful for other like fields, not only like text. So LLMs is kind of inside this generative AI. But there's also like other architectures like diffusion models that you can like generate pictures. So basically you can generate everything. Like generative AI is generating you something from basically nothing, from your text, or
from
like from,
input,
yeah,
yeah.
it could be like protein sequence, it could be like image, text, music, whatever. Like right now it's like so broad term that you can generate so many things like 3D images, code, and yeah. So basically everything that you can generate like with your specific input, it's like Gen AI.
Okay, so basically, as we understand, let's take Midjourney, we're taking our prompt, text prompt, saying what we
Yeah.
want to see, and based on the learning what is behind the Gen AI in Midjourney, they're trying to generate similar image to that prompt. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and from
Exactly.
their big library of whatever they they accumulated. And the same with music, with any data. It depends
Yeah.
on the model, what model understands, and that's what it generates.
Yeah, basically everything you could encode into specific mathematic value. And if you can encode like text, you can encode code, you can encode like mathematics, proteins, and all other stuff, like the sequence of waves of your brain could be, so you can like generate whatever like you want, because it's like the same input to the model, and it brings you like, could be like image, video, like text, music.
Maybe we can discuss just the last term because I believe
Yeah.
everyone is hearing it all the time. What is model training? Maybe you can expand on this because I believe you were involved in model trainings a lot. What it is, how you take the model, how you train it, how it looks, in simple
Okay.
words.
Before you start, think like you need to have idea what you want to build. An example, like what architecture you will use. Transformer is most popular, but Transformer have also like other different architecture. Like an example, mixture of experts or like something like that. So there's a lot. I want to go like super deep into that, but you need, like what you want to build. Then you need to have like data, and you need to have compute. Like these four like main pillars is like what you need to do before like training specific model. So yeah, so then you like, if you have text, you tokenize this text into like specific matrices, like which like zeros and like specific mathematical values that your model could understand.
Basically, it's a computer language, or it
Yeah.
understands.
Just you encode everything like in the specific computer language, and computer understand this like neural networks working in specific ways in mathematical operations and give you like highest probability that some result is like correct or not. So this is like model architecture, basically how everyone is building. It's not that like hard to do, but you need to have like specific experience to know like how it working and how like all these Lego pieces are put like into place, basically.
As I know your background, you started as a financial analyst. Is it true?
Yeah. So like it was in 2016. It's like all the story of how I come to AI was like kind of interesting. I finishing like the finance. I have like mathematics, statistics, all like I don't have any programming knowledge. I have like some SQL, like database language, but nothing else more. So I really want to go to investment management position because I at that moment I think that was like, wow, it's super cool. Right now it's also cool, but yeah, I have find like other passion that's more like interesting for me. So I go to investment, like one of the famous private equity company in Lithuania. I asked them, yeah, I want to have internship with you guys in like specific investment management department. And they say, sorry, like everything is full. Maybe next year, because we don't really looking interns, like we always invite like one maximum per year. And that's it. At this moment, I don't know like what I need to do next. Try to find like other jobs, and after
So you had a really precise focus on one
yeah,
firm.
I
want to
know
work
where I
with them
want to
only.
go. Yeah, in
Okay.
Lithuania, there was like specific one company that I want to work for, and I don't have any like plan B. So it was
Other
super
options,
bad.
yeah.
This is super
Okay.
bad. Like this is very not good after like university. What I did, I like after 1 week, like other department from that specific company call me and they say, oh, we don't have like financial like, but we have data analytics position. Maybe you want to take like and start like an internship, and after that we will see how it goes. Yeah, I don't really know anything about like data analytics, what I need to do. Okay, maybe like after 1 year they give me like position investment management. So okay, I will try it there, and maybe like it would be easier to switch when you're inside the company. Yeah, and I really start liking a lot like this position even more than like investment management. So it's starting like from Excel sheets, then to like databases, and then you're building like infrastructure, then you're building like ML models, and after like 2 years learning like alone everything, like how to programming and stuff like that, I decided, okay, it's not very good for me because I don't really have mentors. And like with ML, you really need people who know how to build things. And at this moment, we don't have like that much courses, or like there was like a couple of courses from deep
And
learning
YouTube
AI.
was not full of these
No,
videos.
no,
No.
yeah. So no tutorials basically, and or there was tutorials, but they was so technically like which is super hard to understand. Like right now we have like
Basically different language, the scientific
yeah,
language.
yeah. So yeah, so I understand like, oh, I need mentors. Then I go to IBM and I work in IBM almost 3 years. And this like switch a lot from my perspective, how research and ML is done, working like with real companies and working like with really interesting projects that helping companies, and have like a lot of mentors that have PhDs. Somehow I show them that I can do it, and like after that, after first day I come to IBM, I like just start like learning basically nonstop, like every weekend, because always feeling like this imposter syndrome that it's not the place for you, because a lot of people have like PhDs and they're working like for a lot of time, like a lot of years in this field. So yeah, you need to like be like super learning, reach that level. First year was like super hard, learning a lot. Second year was okay, yeah, I understand how everything is working. Now we can do most of what I want. Yeah, and this is how it started. I joined like AI Association of Lithuania, and after some times I started like this research group. So
Yeah, and by the way, how you ended up Association of AI in Lithuania?
yeah. So it started 2019. We did like these meetups, AI meetups. There was like no association at the
In
time. We
Lithuania,
have
yeah?
like, yeah, it was like AI Lithuania group in Facebook. And we start like doing like meetups. So first of all, Odor Zeus was like the first president of association started doing this, and I joined to help him because I want to be like kind of inside the community, so how I could help. So okay, I will start like organizing these meetups for. So I organized 2 meetups, and then like COVID hit. And then there was like what we can do next, and then association kind of merged. Like there was like courses of this, like the current president do like AI courses that I also go. Basically did this like for free, for like they have like different batches how to you can learn like specific like machine learning data analytics skills for free. Right now it's like probably costs like a lot of money to do like these kind of courses, but at this moment it was like completely for free, and everyone could go there and learn something.
And
So
by
this
the
was
way, these courses are still available online
no,
somewhere?
no,
No,
no.
no.
It was like Vilnius AI School, I think in 2019,
Okay.
something like that. I don't understand. So yeah, I start like meetups, then I join association, and I was like first kind of volunteers. I could take like the meetup part because I already did previously. So let's try to do this like right now. I also could organize like online meetings. After half a year, like community see that okay, I could be like valuable member. There was like election for new board members, and they say that I really want to help like association, and I was selected. So
Okay, so it's already 4th year started in the association, yeah?
yes, something like that.
Also, you mentioned this additional Lithuanian AI research group.
Yeah.
What it is, why you created this, and
Oh, I'm reading right now like a lot of research papers, and like I really want to be in the field that I know like what is happening, and this has helped me like a lot, like when I'm preparing for different talks and stuff like that. Most of the time I'm reading these, and specifically for multilingual, it should be like text to speech or like large language models. I always checking like in the specific context where is Lithuania stands like as language.
in short, where it is.
It's getting better. I will say
Oh,
that.
okay, okay.
I will join Bloom project, and after Bloom finish. So Bloom was like the huge large language models at that time was like they have the same parameters as GPT-3, 175 billion. It was trained on a European supercomputer, and it was like basically initiative from different researchers, independent researchers around the world. So after that project, I really start checking like okay, where's Lithuania, like because they include 48 languages but not include Lithuania. And I was like, why guys? The main reason was we don't really have time to like creating like the data sets. We need like to have data sets right now. I start like to searching like data set for them, but I not found any. So basically
Oh,
there was like some data sets in universities, but the specific license don't give like us that specific permission that we can use like to train Bloom. So
right.
after Bloom, there was other initiative, create Bloom 2, only for European languages, because European Union give like specific grant for supercomputer to train like this large language model for 26 or 24 like official European languages. And this part I was responsible for Lithuanian language, and this project not happen because there was like other universities doing like the same project, and they cannot finance basically free projects like the same. That's why like Hugging Face basically said, okay guys, we will not do that anymore, we will shut it down, the project.
So it was the project with the Hugging Face, yeah?
Hugging Face was like the main organization behind Bloom and Bloom 2. Yeah, and it was like kind of sad because I thought that this is the right approach how like LLM should be created. Not like in universities, something like that, but like from different people around the world that like super passionate about specific things. This is like the best results, I think, what we have right now from all LLMs that we see. So that's after this, I need to create something that I see that a lot of people want to join. So I create like Whisper model for like Lithuanian language, and what was like, I think right now it's one of the best comparing like how much data it needs. Like I use only like 500 megabytes of like speech data, and it worked like 80% accuracy. So it was like super good model.
So can you explain Whisper model, what it does?
Oh yeah, so Whisper model is like modeled by OpenAI, which is like completely free or open source, and it's trained on a lot of like speech to text parts, and it could like transcribe an example our like this kind of meeting. If we're talking, it's transcribe. It was like very simple model, but it's like very useful in general for like people to have very good transcription models. So you can use it in the meetings, in the doctor office, everywhere basically.
So you took that general model what OpenAI released to the public and use it and train it, if I understand correctly.
It's like fine-tuning, like with additional
for
data.
Lithuanian.
It's already have Lithuanian language inside, but not that good. So if you give like more data, more like speech data to that model, it's like becoming even better. So I did that.
Okay, so you created that model. Is it available somewhere
Yeah,
online?
it's on the Hugging Face. Yeah.
On the Hugging Face. And how it's called? How people can find it? I will add in the description the link so people can check it. You were the Lithuanian who wanted to make the Lithuanian language available in the AI world.
Yeah. This was like the main thing. After like Whisper was released, I have some people contact me. So, that's like nice project. Maybe we can like give you some money to create like the bigger one, because right now I use only like I train 50 euros that model. Don't have like a lot of money like to like spend like on compute like on this hobby project. So I use I think
how much you need
euros. I don't know. Right now I want to train like LLM. So for LLM maybe need like 5K, something like that.
Okay, so it's doable. But it's not like 6-8 trillion like Altman is like raising or trying to raise. Okay, so it's doable. Okay, who is listening can want to join and support David does, please do that.
Thinking to have like contribute for the specific goal to like collect and give people some shout out or something.
Okay, so I will include the link into description too when it will happen, and I believe we can do something about this.
So after that I have like people that really want to join to do like different projects, and I find like the projects that really need to be done in the Lithuanian language. And this is how like all this AI research group is basically started.
We will come back to this thing. We should start. The main topic of today is 10 challenges, I call it, or problems of LLMs. You said there are top 10 challenges last time when we were talking, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know what are main top 10 challenges. And I believe this is the great topic to discuss on this podcast. We can start exploring the first problem or the challenge, hallucinations, if you didn't heard about this term. So maybe let's discuss what is the hallucination of AI or LLMs.
It's very hard to say what is hallucination in general. It's basically inaccurate information that you not expect. An example in Midjourney, it could be like if you want to generate person, is generate person like with like 10 fingers on one hand.
Or monitor instead of head.
Yeah, exactly. So this could be a hallucination because, like in the real life, it's not really accurate because, we have 10 fingers, but not on one hand, on two hands.
And in the training, it kind of explained, and there is instructions so you can understand it. But for some reason, LLMs just provide different results. Predicts different results.
Yeah, so this is one of the I think most important challenge right now. I think reasoning on this is super important too.
I want to understand the impact fact and some examples and maybe possible solutions on this,
Yeah.
how you see it could evolve over the next 5 years period?
So let's start from example. So best example probably is like in the medical field. So if we want to have like good chatbot that could give us like specific advice, like how to consume medicine or give doctor like different perspective, how to check in specific patient disease, we cannot use them right now that confidently because we know that sometimes it's hallucinate a lot. And if I will tell, oh, you need to take 20 pills, but in real life you only need to make 2 because it's making mistakes from other efforts and that you need to take 20 pills. From an example, it's like mistaking like the drug could be like vital for your health.
All right. Even it has the data what you should take 2, but somewhere it got another data and it doesn't understand which one has the better priority or higher.
It's contradicting sometimes a lot. In example, if you have drug-to-drug interaction. So if you're taking one drug, you cannot take another one because it could like cause side effects. I see a lot of cases that it's contradict a lot because aspirin, in some drugs, you cannot like use aspirin with like specific drug or specific disease. And it's like contradicting a lot. In some cases, yeah, you need to take aspirin, but you cannot take aspirin to specific drugs. So it could like cause like a lot of damage for that.
Really amazing examples, and they are fatal examples.
Yeah.
And we need to be really cautious about this. And of course, if it generates wrong data or creates facts what didn't exist, I mentioned this in the previous episode, where the lawyer, when they got access to ChatGPT, they created the case and they got examples of the previous cases and they thought, oh, it's true. And it happened what GPT just created that case. It doesn't exist in the real world. They were really surprised about that. So basically this was the hallucination.
Yeah. So these like making facts, it's like main, I think, why it's not reliable.
Okay, and what do you think could be solutions, or maybe some solutions currently are created to avoid hallucination?
Main one that everyone is using is called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So basically you're giving like the context more in specific case. Large language models is trained like on a lot of different data. And previously I mentioned fine-tuning when you give like specific data to be like very good. But in large language model field, fine-tuning is super expensive. If the model pre-training could cost like millions, fine-tuning could cost like tens of thousands. So it's still not valuable for people to use this because you need like specific case, but I don't really have like, I think for Llama 2 model, like the biggest one, fine-tuning cost about like 60K to fine-tune it on your specific data.
And how long it takes in time?
It's probably like for 2 weeks, all the costs like 60K or like 1 month. It really depends like also on like the how much data do you want to fine-tune. But it's still a lot of money.
Yeah. And how many people needs to work on this fine-tuning? 1, 2, 5? More?
It could be one person, but if you know everything, that could be one person. But computational cost, that's cost like you a lot, and you need to wait a lot of time because like the scarcity is like so huge right now. So everyone wants that, everyone wants to train something, and like it's basically Nvidia. That's why Nvidia increasing like 100% like every quarter. So
Nvidia had quarter earnings report, but it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it was like 285%, something like that, which is like crazy.
Okay. Yeah. So Nvidia and other chip makers, I believe, and I saw rumors what SoftBank wants to invest into AI chip creation, and they're looking for maybe collaboration with OpenAI. I don't know. Should we call it still OpenAI?
Probably. I don't like. They kind of have interesting like organizational structure, and this we will see cause like a lot of problem. But Yeah, but in general. So back to hallucinations. So RAG is like one technique that costs like very cheaply. So you give like a couple of pages or even the whole database as a reference to large language models, and basically large language models finding like specific information in that specific document. So this is like simplified way how it works.
RAG is a new term, what people should know.
Yeah, so it's specific technique that could extract specific information from your like PDF file or for more than one.
Okay, it's like an algorithm and etc. Yeah.
So these like GPT stores basically running on that. You put like PDFs and you create tutor for history and you add like historical books, encyclopedias, something like that. So this is like very good because you give very narrow document for like specific information and can find information, extracted information, and write like additionally, as in like you have a context and you can give like additional knowledge for using LLM.
And you mentioned what it's cheaper. So basically, you said
It's
if
very
the
cheap.
fine tuning costs 60K in 2
Yeah,
weeks,
this
and
costs
something.
like I don't know, hundreds, probably even less than hundreds. Yeah. So
Okay,
this is
okay,
like
yeah,
what
it's a big
it really
difference.
depends on the like data size as a fine tuning called the same and the model parameter size. So you can cheaply like fine tune Llama 13 or 7 billion parameters because they are smaller one, and like 70 billion parameter of course like will cost like. So yeah, so this is like basic technique that you can prevent hallucinations right now.
Any others? What you could mention,
There
or
is, but they're not that popular. I don't think that like this is like mostly using for basically a lot of companies right now.
okay,
And other
okay.
techniques is like more like research right now problem, checking like how to make it work faster without hallucinations or how to go deep in like model architecture, insert like your specific data inside already in the model. So yeah, all these
Okay.
kind of interesting
Okay,
things.
and
But
I believe we will see a lot of additional possibilities in the next year or two.
yeah.
It's really growing fast, and people coming
Yeah.
up with some interesting, groundbreaking researches
Yeah,
and
yeah,
etc. Let's go to the next one. Is the reasoning what it is?
yeah. So reasoning is probably, yeah, the biggest challenge of all AI. Because if we can solve reasoning, then we could say that we solve not all AI or like great AGI, but like we can solve like large language models very well. So why reasoning is not working very well right now? So basically when we have like specific problem, or it be math problem or physics or AI agent problem that do specific function for us. So how it works is basically doing step-by-step reasoning. So you have one problem as like the same in school as we did with mathematics. Okay, let's like start like from first action, second action, third action, and like on the fourth we will get like the answer of the specific function or like equation. So the reasoning is very important for any LLMs because we want that large language model understand like what is the reason behind this specific problem. Right now we just like retrieving information, we just taking information or using as like write email. But when we solve reasoning, it could help us understand like why this is happening, what we can like improve.
Why we writing this email? Why we receiving
Yeah.
this email? Why we need to write in certain way?
Yeah, and you offer like, okay, if you want to attract more clients, maybe this is the right way to do. Your client, after like I saw a couple of emails, I know what he likes and how I can write like in the same manners and what should be important as you mentioned. So right now you need to give your all the context yourself, but after we solve reasoning, you can understand like how you need to do that without any.
I see the example here. In the last 17 years or 18 years, I was working and trying to understand digital marketing because previously I was just building digital products and digital things. And I find it out, oh, if you build something, later you need to sell something.
Yeah.
And why I come up with the main idea is to understand how you will communicate your offer to your target audience.
Yeah.
You know, and here I see, I say to people, you can communicate the same offer to the same audience in hundreds, thousands of ways. But
Yeah,
the reasoning,
exactly.
why you will communicate, and by the way, you don't have resources to communicate or test all the ways.
Yeah.
But now you need to reason why you choose the first one and put it as the option in the first place instead of the second option, because we can present this offer with the humor and without the humor. Why we should choose the humor instead of without humor? With humor, people are more relaxed, but if you are selling financial services, that type of audience won't take you serious if you do it with the humor.
Exactly.
And etc. So it's just one example of the reasoning why you choose one instead of another. So the same is for large language model.
So I think the best example that everyone will understand is like AI agents. You want give like specific instruction. Go to online shop and buy me like bananas and ice cream, an example. So what you need to do, first step is like go to Google. Second step, go to like specific online shop that people or like this person like. Third step, go to the search in like specific online search engine. Find like bananas, add it to the cart. Find ice cream, select specific ice cream, add it to the cart, and then go to proceeding for all baskets. So this is like have like a lot of different small tasks that you need to do.
And also the pricing, if we go even with the best price.
Exactly. So what I did, so my brain is reason, so I know like what steps to take. I already tell like how you need to do that. So I understand what I need to do. So I reason very well that I understand how like all these tasks need to be completed to get like the final result.
So basically you have experience.
Yeah, I have experience. I have like specific data in my head because I did this like previous time, and I know like how to extract that information, and I know how to do like task from the first until I get like this basket delivered to my house. So large language models cannot do that. That's kind of like agent is not really working that well right now. We see like AutoGPT. Right now they're working like a little bit better because people checking this problem a little bit different, more like code side. But in general, it's not like reason well. And if we solve the reasoning, basically, we could make a lot of like new scientific discoveries in math and physics, medicine, drug discovery, and all other stuff. So so this is why this is like super important to solve.
Okay, and if we say what it's related to experience, so basically LLM models should have that experience. That's why we try to train them.
Basically we're training on like specific data. I don't know like how to extract this experience. They have like memory that understand like what I did previous time, but I understand the most of the time they understand like instructions. But if you want to have like very good agent, you cannot write like specific instruction every time. This instruction could be like 100 different steps. So you don't really want that. You want that if I said create financial analysis on Apple stocks over the last 20 years, he needs to do that basically without like any specific instructions.
I'm just thinking about the human psychology here, like how we are reasoning things. Usually it's based on the experience what we had, but how we understand our experience, usually it's understood by pain we had in the past. So how computers can feel that pain? Of course, I don't want to go into
I don't really know. I don't really know how our brains is working. I think this also like kind of problem that we want to build like systems that could reason and create something that would be similar to human, how human is learning and reason and other stuff, but we don't really understand how we are like basically working. So it's like creating something without like we don't really know what we are creating.
So basically, maybe if we want to solve reasoning for machines, first of all, we need to solve reasoning for humans.
I don't know if this would be like. I think we first invent something like closely to like this artificial general intelligence, and after that, general intelligence help us to like
to understand
how our brain is working.
This is a separate topic, and I believe we can get into that rabbit hole. So maybe there's options how scientists trying to solve it at the moment, or do you have any examples on this?
Yeah,
Or
so this was like very interesting. Last year, like OpenAI released this verify step by step. So when you have large language models created, there's like specific prompting engineering that you write like specific commands that it
Yep.
understand and work very well. So one of this, when they like checking how reasoning is work, let's think step by step. There's like very simple command, like 4 words, but give model like reasoning capabilities that okay, I need to from one step to another. So this I think was like groundbreaking because fine-tuning not always. I remember when GPT-3 was released and fine-tuning was like super hard to do. It's like basically you write something and it's not responding
anything,
yeah,
or just
it's
goes different.
responding, but it's like kind of okay, it's in the context, but not really what I need. And you write like specific instruction how you need to do things. And after like ChatGPT was released, then prompt engineering see like okay, we see like a lot of useful things that you can do like this, like let's verify step by step, act as specific professional, then say I will give you a huge tip, this is very important for my job, and all these kind of stuff that look like kind of funny, but it's improved the quality kind of like 5% or something like that, like accuracy. So this is kind of pretty crazy that some like specific word in the prompt could like improve your accuracy basically.
Okay, and OpenAI released those instructions how you can reason the model so they can.
Yeah. So there was like very specific. You need to write like in every prompt, if you're doing, let's do this step by step, and that's it. This is all instructions they give, and like it's basically don't really need like some fancy techniques. It's just like 4 words.
What are these 4 words?
You can always write like verify step by step or let's do step by step.
Oh, okay. So basically, this is the instruction you are giving,
Yeah.
and later it just needs to follow everything what you write.
Then it start like okay, first step is this, second step is this.
Okay.
And that's it.
And this brings me to the idea I always trying to explain to people. Now everyone is just, they have this FOMO, fear of missing out. But oh, I'm not on the train with AI and etc. And I always say, look, do you have a process in your business on anything?
Yeah.
Oh, why? No, I need AI. Yeah, but what is AI?
Yeah.
If you have these step-by-step processes, then you can understand where you can implement AI, and maybe you can skip one process or make it faster, to make it easier, cheaper, and etc. But if you don't have the process, you are not ready for AI implementation in your business.
Yeah, a lot of business I think don't really understand like what problems they have in the business in general that they could solve with AI, and don't really have data.
I would say data, even the second thing. I first say, do you understand the process, what's going on in your business?
Yeah.
Then I ask, okay, what data you have? Do you collect KPIs? And I'm coming from marketing perspective. Usually I come to companies asking, okay, do you know your KPIs? Do you know how much it costs to get a lead? Do you know how much it costs to sell this product? And usually they don't. Or how your sales team working? How many calls they making per day, per week, per month? If you have 10 salespeople, how you understand which one is performing the best and why. And usually that data exists, but it's not collected. And this is one of the things what I'm telling to people: start collecting data. You don't know what you will do with it now, but in the future it will help you. And this is where we're coming, and this is the what we are talking about. If you want to have the right reasoning, you will need to have the process, and next you need to have a data, and maybe something else. But but those two are really important factors.
Talking about data, so one of the main how model could reason better was like the quality of the data. Large language models is basically trained on like all internets, basically every text on internet, and they filtering a little bit, but it's not like the huge, not good quality or something like that.
And this is where I want to go with the reasoning. Reasoning on what? Because if we have all the internet data, we have a lot of, let's call it bullshit.
Yeah.
something in the gray zone data and the true. And what is the true? It depends on your beliefs, on a lot of other variables.
That's why this whole process is like training models, starting like with having a lot of different data. Then you train the model for like a month or two on like a lot of GPUs. Then you did like fine tuning on how you need to interact with people, like ChatGPT doing what could be like the right response and stuff like that. So you train on that, and then you have specific model or fine tuning on some specific principles to be like more safety. It's like constitutional AI. But data, what like Microsoft shows the 5 models, it's called PHI models. Like if you have textbook quality data, it could like reason better than like just all the trash from internet. But it's like super hard to because you need like a lot of data, and there's not a lot of quality data, I think. So this is kind of hard to.
And you need to have the algorithms what qualifies the data. And
If you have like terabytes, you don't have that much people that could like check basically all the text if it's the right one or not. And they're using Reddit. They can label, I think, from like specific sources, but like in Reddit you have like very insightful and from researchers, and you have very conspiracy theories that like not make sense at all. So
for some people it makes sense, but
yeah.
I find the ways how to justify it.
So that's why I think data quality is pretty important. And that's why companies that has a lot of data eventually win this, because models getting better. And if you have a lot of data that is only yours, then you have a huge advantage compared to other companies.
I read this quote, and I'm not sure where it was, but currently data is more expensive than the oil. So basically it's a new oil in our markets and industries. So
to attract clients right now, like to like fill the forms or something like that, probably will cost more than oil.
I thought these 2 challenges will go really fast, and I want to start on the next one. We can split this conversation in 2 episodes. Everyone who is watching our episode, please subscribe to our channel. There will be more content. Click the bell button, you will be notified. Leave comments under this video. I will include as many links as it possible on everything what we talked with David. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you soon. And thank you, David.
Thank you, Martin. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.